Plainfield Township Park District Park Board of Commissioners meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. Roll call, please. Ayers?
Here.
Mercado? Here. Bruno? Here. Newton?
Here.
Slosky? Here. Stein?
Present.
And would Mimi like to lead us in the pledge today?
Lord.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to amend the presented agenda by moving section 8, the bond issuance notification act hearing up to the next agenda item. Do I have a motion for that? Okay, is there a second? Ayers?
Yes.
Mercado? Newman? Yes. Newton?
Yes.
Slosky? Yes. Stein?
Yes.
Conduct a public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Park Commissioners to sell $400,000 in general obligation limited park bonds. The next agenda item for the Park Board of Commissioners is a public hearing to receive public comments on the proposal to sell $400,000 in general obligation limited tax park bonds for the payment of land condemned or purchased for parks, for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same and the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of the expenses incident thereto, and explain that all persons desiring to be heard have an opportunity to present written or oral testimony with respect thereto. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Make the motion. I'll second.
All right, Stein has made a motion that the Park Board of Commissioners open the public hearing concerning the intent, and seconded by Commissioner Ayers. 603, roll call, please. Ayers?
Yes.
Mercado?
Yes.
Newman? Yes. Newton?
Yes.
Slosky? Yes. Stein?
Yes.
The public hearing on the proposal to sell $400,000 general obligation limited tax park bonds for the payment of land condemned or purchased for parks for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same and the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of the expenses incident thereto, and explain that all persons desiring to be heard would have an opportunity to present written or oral testimony with respect thereto is open. Are there any comments or questions from the commissioners? Are there any public comments in relation to this issue for the bonds? Everybody's quiet. All persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of bonds. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion. I'll second.
A motion was made by Commissioner Newton and seconded by Commissioner Stein. Ayers?
Yes.
All right, so now we're back to the normal agenda, which would be the swearing in of our newest commissioner, Ridgely Ann Mimi Holden. Yes, if you guys. Since Wendy, our board secretary, is not here tonight, I will be stepping in his capacity.
Please be careful on the rug up front, there is a cord underneath it, and I want you to try.
Welcome. I state your name.
I, Ridgely Ann Mimi Bowling,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Park District Commissioner according to the best of my ability.
you take it.
Sure.
That I will
That I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Park District Commissioner
of the Office of Park District
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
Thank you. At this point, it's time for public
Actually,
comments.
we're going to be doing a roll out.
Ayers,
Yes.
Hurtado, Goodman,
Yes.
Merton,
Here.
Pauling,
Here.
Slosky, Stein.
Yes.
All right, now we are on item number 5 for public comments. Is there anyone that would like to make a public comment?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Congratulations, Ms. Polk. I was at Coffee with the Mayor this morning, and I saw both Mr. Capalvo and Cheryl who were there this morning. And it made me think that I get notices as well from Naperville Park District and a couple of others that I have relatives in. And one of the things I noticed that one of them was doing, I forget which one, and I know Mr. Capalvo's talking about wanting to, like, as we keep rolling along, get some user input, resident input on things. They're doing a focus group soon. I think they do, it's one of the things they do in their down season, where they essentially, I guess it'd be kind of like a public hearing, but it's just a group of citizens who come and sort of shoot the breeze and brainstorm ideas for new programs or changes to programming and stuff. So maybe aside from regular meetings, I just thought maybe that might be something you guys put in the hopper and consider. Maybe doing a focus group of, residents, users, maybe come together to give you some more ideas as we keep going. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment tonight? All right, next would be consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion.
Any discussion? A motion was made that the Park Board Commissioners approve the consent agenda as presented by Commissioner Newton and seconded by Commissioner Steins. Roll call.
Ayers,
Yes.
Hurtado, Goodman,
Yes.
Merton,
Yes.
Pauling,
Yes.
Slosky,
Yes.
Stein.
Yes.
Next item is the staff reports.
Just a couple things to touch on that's gone on over the last week, and I'm sorry my voice is going right now. The last week's Journey to North Pole by the Recreation Department was an excellent combination of both the Recreation and the Parks Department, and we got to put on a special event for about 300 participants that went through from 6 to 9 at Four Seasons Park. It was a good job of time, and we also like to thank Deputy Chief Stratton, as he was our Santa Claus for the event throughout that whole evening. Additionally, beyond that, I've also been working with engineering resources and ComEd, trying to secure a little bit more with DuPage River Trail, the ITEP portion of the trail that we're working on, that portion of the funding. Right now, we're in the process of trying to get the ComEd recreational use agreement amended a bit. So we have that with ComEd, and then additionally, due to some of the ComEd portions that were needed by IDOT for the trail, for the funding portion, there are some other requests that they had of ERA, Engineering Resources Associate, that we, as our engineering firm on this, and us, to produce, one of which is the resolution later in this packet, to continue on. So we will not be part of the bid letting in January, because when they started reviewing our case, we were missing some items that they were still looking for there, so unclarities. So right now, we're shooting to have everything prepared for the June 20th meeting, or by June 20th, to submit to IDOT, so that we be part of the March bid letting. That's our next target date that we're looking at. We really want to be part of that one. With that goal, we could potentially see construction on the DuPage River Trail to begin around early to middle of summer, and then be completed before the kids go back to school. So that's our goal at this point with that project. Additionally, a couple other things. The senior lunch this last week was attended at the Plainfield Township Community Center, which is a co-effort between us and the township, by about 200 senior.
219
RCMP. Okay. So that, and we utilize the Fire Protection District's facility at that, which is, once again, that was no charge to us, either location. It's once again a good community event that we put on. And then the final thing I do have is you'll be seeing, we'll be changing our, and when we make our approval to approve our meetings for January, we're going to be looking to change our locations at the commission, at the suggestion of Commissioner Steins. We are looking to start going to the
Plainfield Township Community Center and host a fair, so that we can utilize that facility on Wednesday nights for better acoustics as we move forward. Oh, and I'm sorry, I have one other thing. I did receive just in the mail today, and I would like the board's direction on how they like to go on this. It was, and I got it literally before I walked out of the office. It's from a attorney, a law firm, requesting basically if there, it's for Spring Bank project. It's looks like another single-family housing development. They're looking to see if they have if they can get a 20 by 20 right-of-way to put up a sign advertising their development and be at the corner of Four Seasons Park. I want to bring it to the board's attention, seeing it is a possible revenue. Their initial willingness to pay was $100 a month for a 5-year term. If the board was interested in something like this, I would rather go and talk to them and see if that what we negotiate, or we can just table it and not worry about the topic moving forward. So that was something I was looking for direction on.
Policy.
That I'm not 100%, I did not find that before I got to this meeting, so I didn't want to leave it lingering another month just in case. I could look into what our exact policy is on sponsorship or production of signage. It does fit with, the sign they're proposing does fit within the village's ordinance for signage.
Is that another one?
They sit within the village of Plainfield, I couldn't tell you exactly. Is that outside of the village property? Okay. So I apologize, I was not, I don't know exactly where our border lies.
I'm sure they don't know that either.
So,
Okay, so you want to negotiate a lease in regards to,
Well, I want to see
for that signage?
what, yeah, if we were interested to see what the final price would be before I brought it back to the board for final approval. Obviously, the board would have final approval on it, but if it was something we weren't interested in, I'd rather not move forward with it.
Okay, another question in regards to, pushing on that sign location in regards to, restrictions of drivers, nuisances over blockage.
We would have to take that into
Yeah,
consideration.
yeah, consider that.
They're looking for they basically said the northwest corner of 126th and I-55. So.
Okay.
What's the corner, 955?
126th.
126.
Oh, I'm off there. I'm sorry. That's not. No, I'm off.
That's
We're supposed to.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
I agree with you there.
That's
That's not us.
Yeah.
Four Seasons is one block corporation in 55.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, 126 and I-55.
Oh, that's not us.
That's not us. I just got this, like I said, this literally came to me right before I walked out of the office. So I wanted to bring it right away, as opposed to set.
But if you want to give us $100,
Or if I return, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking it was 126 and we want for it, so I apologize.
Well, maybe the contract itself, we can also stipulate that, we have the rights to retain that, sign space at any time or whatever. You know,
Do you have one there? Unfortunately, I haven't even had a chance to talk with you yet.
They said Four Seasons, though.
Yeah.
So they,
So that's why I just saw
Yes.
it.
I guess I would be willing to allow you to continue discussions.
I'll try to figure out where they're at. But I just want to open up anything without the words directed on that.
I'd be willing to listen.
Okay.
doesn't affect their
Okay. Thank you.
Then there was the out-of-street pool report.
I will turn it over to Andy Dundee, who is the recreation manager, who's in charge of Ottawa Street Pool operations.
My first year, I lived, I made it.
Power button on the production. It's the button on the top. This is top.
This is the orange one.
Yep.
It's on. In front of all of you, you should have kind of a revenue and expense summary sheet. Real quickly, I just kind of want to go over and highlight some of the things that, maybe you guys have had questions or things like that, so. That's a lot of them. So overall, our revenue was down compared to last year. There's revenues were down about 15,000. Many things can be attributed to that, and some of those things I'm going to try to discuss and go over with you. spreadsheet, on the top left is the revenue portion of it from each area that we collect revenue from miscellaneous income, pool rentals, all that good stuff. And then to the right of it, from a revenue standpoint, I try and detail it by month, by what type of passes, and all that good stuff that goes with that. Our miscellaneous income was down. About 6,000, but our passes were up. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to the weather, which often pools are. We see that throughout the park districts. The success of this season is based on the weather. I think we had a very cold winter, very warm start to the season, which got a lot of pass holders here. But as you see in the next slide here, it was definitely warmer, but we had a lot more rain in comparison to last year, looking at June and July. So that'll definitely take away a lot of the daily pass holders and so forth. Pool rentals were down also. A lot of that can be attributed, the revenue was down, a lot of competition around the area. We had 7 private pool rentals. 2 of them were staff, so they got a discounted rate from that standpoint too. And like I said, on this spreadsheet, it shows it here, it's hard to read. It kind of breaks down each of the areas in revenue, where we succeeded and where we fell a little bit short of our projected budget. Swim lessons. Swim lessons declined 7,000, but that is kind of in line with how things have been going as a trend. The year before, we were down another 7,000 in revenue in the breakdown. So it seems to be a trend. I think staff is looking into what type of new programming and lessons we can do for the future to try and bring that up. It's also based on the population growth sometimes, although that'll have some factor in it along with the weather. We did notice, the staff and I, semi-private lessons we take about a page and a half of the brochure in the semi-privates, and probably about 60 to 70% of those classes didn't go. So what staff is already done is we're just going to eliminate semi-private lessons and utilize more time for other types of lessons and save that space in the brochure and so forth. And try and utilize it for some other potential programming and so forth. Expenses. We definitely went down in expenses. When your revenue's down, you try and limit your expenses too. Some of the highlights with the overall expenses. A lot of that, the part-time wages declined. This is where there's, with changing of the staff, some of the pool chemicals ordered and so forth, there's differences. Some, I think Adam liked to over-order, and I'm throwing them under the bus, even though it's my buddy, but I kind of finished perfectly with 1 bucket of chemicals left at the end of the season. I remember Adam having about half a dozen to a dozen buckets left. So some of that, as it's an old pool, unexpected repairs happen. This year, knock on wood, we had pretty easy year as far as major repairs. We didn't have to do many. We also saved a lot of money not doing filters, chemical filters, which can add to a lot. We got another year of use out of those. So those are the types of expenses that we saved on. Here, once again, just kind of giving an overview of everything and so forth. From that standpoint, basically looking ahead, the pool fund is scheduled to move into the rec fund following the 2015 season, as was proposed during the last budget cycle. Staff is also currently working on, I know we put in the capital budget, some money to do a lot of rework at the pool, spruce it up a little bit. One, the main area is the ship shape area, kind of the splat. It's not a splash pad, but it's kind of a playground. It's definitely outdated. The Parks Department, Cheryl and I, looking at talking with companies about going up a bid about making that a
I had a chance to talk to the director of the YMCA, and they also indicated that the swim lessons are down. Is there somebody that's giving us competition, or where are people getting lessons?
And I'm noticing even in the community where I live, there's a private enterprise, I think it's called Goldfish, and they're opening up a lot around here. And that is their main specialty, is having that. I don't know offhand if there's one close to here.
Currently, there is one in Naperville, and they will be opening one. They've been on the board, or village board's docket for the last couple meetings until the one within Plainfield.
So that'll be some more competition. Any questions? Thank you.
Next is action items. Seeking a motion to approve the sale of $400,000 in general obligation limited tax park bonds.
As we go through it, at the end of all the memos, we do have motions written out. If you would like to make the motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Okay. The motion was made by Commissioner Solowski that the Park Board of Commissioners approve the sale of $400,000 in general obligation limited tax park bonds for the payment of land condemned or purchased for parks, for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same and the existing land and facilities in the district, and for the payment of the expenses incident thereto, seconded by Commissioner Ayers. Roll call. Ayers?
Yes. Right, any discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. Any discussion? Everybody's quiet. Okay, roll call.
Hurtado,
No.
Goodman,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Poland,
Yes.
Slosky,
Yes.
Steins,
Negative.
Okay, next is item B, seeking a motion to approve resolution 2014-19, a resolution for the issuance of procurement cards. So, someone that would like to make a motion on that.
There is a new resolution placed in front of you this evening after our training and we'll review it. And then there was also a summary of the highlights of the purchasing card program. Commissioner Stein, any questions?
Okay,
Oh, we got a motion.
so yes, does anyone want to make the motion on this one?
I'll make the motion, I move that the Park Board of Commissioners approve resolution 2014-19.
Okay, a motion was made by Commissioner Newton that the Park Board of Commissioners approve the resolution 2014-19, seconded by Commissioner Hurtado. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, I got one question in regards to what's the maximum amount of cards? Individual cards?
Individual cards,
Right.
the individual cards, maximum for each individual will be set through our policy or our procedure, which, that's what I was
Just
just
one
saying.
question.
Basically, myself and Maureen will be the administrators, and Kim Emery, if I'm correct, will be the three administrators of the card. We were able to set what each staff member's limit would be at according to what the expenditures of anticipation would be for the month.
And average, average,
I think the policy, or the way the resolution, or the way the agreement words, the $180,000 maximum monthly would be the expenditure amount.
That's only, we had set it that high because typically our park district credit cards are set at limits of about $2,000 a month. However, there are certain transactions, such as the purchasing of dance costumes, that cost about $25,000. So the card in which those costumes will go on will have a higher limit to accommodate those.
And we can change that as we go
Correct.
through the course of the season. Like it can be raised for that month that it's going out to $25,000 and brought back to $1,000 for next month as we're moving forward. One of the easier things with a procurement card system is as opposed to each individual card like you're at currently in a credit card system, a business card system, where each individual person has their own card under the district, and we get several statements. This is one unified statement with all of it being spread out throughout, and it's all collected into one pool and we distribute.
Okay, I'm standing on one pool, you know, moving up to 185,000.
Not per person, per total.
Okay, well, in regards to, I think, on the individual cards, what I'm asking for is, who's going to carry that maximum amounts that you think is going to be, what's the extreme?
You're probably looking at, as we go through, like, we'll look at where we can put certain costs and direct certain bills,
The
utilities.
record has a certain limit.
Yeah, that- You would have a
Is
direct,
it top ceiling on it, or?
yes, along those lines, yes.
Okay. I'm just following.
Yeah, we would have, like-
Season's over.
We would have, depending on, like, some seasons where a normal supervisor might have a $1,500 limit on a regular basis, depending on maybe the summer season, it might be increased at that point. So we'll be utilizing the dollars, and we might not even be utilizing the full 180 every month, that's not the goal exactly. The goal is to try to put as many things through the procurement card aspect towards an automatic debit at the end of the month, and then we're able to get a rebate upon paying our bills.
I'm saying, the purpose of it.
I'm saying that.
I'm saying that control of it.
Control is set through the procedure.
Any other discussion?
Are you gonna share the tiered page, just so I had asked the question about seeing how much we would get, you know, if we were to spend 100,000, 200,000, and Carlo has a yeah, starts out with like 0.25% and goes up from there.
Also, I have one more question, besides yours. In regards to, if we fail to pay on time, what's our, worst case, interest rate?
The interest rate would be just a typical 18 to 19%. We wouldn't fail to pay it.
I'm just saying, just in case somebody, slips
That
up.
wouldn't happen, it doesn't happen now, so it wouldn't happen.
He wouldn't let it.
Is it different from what we're paying on the credit card now?
No, it's about the same with our master
Because you're on vacation.
card. I promise
You know,
you.
one of the positives with the P card system, one of our goals would be is to eliminate more store credit lines that we have, where we would have just an open account at Menards or something like that, and then issue P cards where we have a little bit more control of who's actually able to go in and purchase with an actual card. One of the things we've kind of made up and have in the draft form right now as we continue with the process is a purchasing a guidelines procedure manual. So that's what we'll be utilizing to follow. So we can also then therefore control what types of stores cards are allowed to purchase at. So if we're deciding recreation supervisors are mainly looking to purchase at these type of stores, we can say there should be no restaurants built onto theirs or things of that nature, so we can limit where the cards are utilized as well.
Got your answer?
I did.
One more question in regards to, the debit. Is it going to be, debt eliminated?
The cash advance you're referring to, yes, we need to turn that off, and that's what we're doing.
Harris,
Yes.
Shadow,
Yes.
Ludeman,
Yes.
Yes.
Poling. Yes. Slaski,
Yes.
Stein.
Yes.
Item C in your packet is the schedule for the 2015 meeting schedule. Seeking a motion to approve the 2015 Park Board Commissioners schedule.
I'll make a motion.
The motion was made by Commissioner Steins that the Park Board Commissioners approve the 2015 meeting dates and location as presented, seconded by Commissioner Hurtado. There probably is some discussion on this one, but if there is any. No, okay, roll call.
Harris,
Yes.
Hurtado, Ludeman,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Poling,
Yes.
Slaski,
Yes.
Stein.
Yes.
Okay, item D, seeking a motion to approve a contract with Eco Clean Maintenance for cleaning services.
I move that the Park Board of Commissioners authorize the Director of Recreation to execute a yearly cleaning contract for the Recreation Administrative Center Annex Streams Recreation Center, Heritage Professional Center, and Normantown Equestrian Center with EquiClean Maintenance Inc.